Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome back to the art table for May of 2024, this time featuring Punny Panda, or as I will be referring to her, Panda. Now, Panda is a commissioned artist who also, I believe, is launching her own webcomic. Links for all that stuff will be in the description down below as per usual. She is also, as far as I understand it, looking to launch her own YouTube channel, so if that is up by the time of this video, I will make sure to include that in the description down below as well. Panda does a lot of really interesting stuff in a lot of honestly interesting art styles. They are relatively similar to one another, so I can kind of get a feel for what her style is, but they're all really creative, they're all beautifully colored pieces, and I really hope you enjoy. So to get the usual disclaimer out of the way, I do not take any sort of kickback, promotion, discount, commission, payment, or anything of the sort in relation to these videos. I do this purely for the love of the artwork. If I have had a commission done by the artist, I will let you know. If I do not mention it, then that means I have not had a commission done by them. All commission prices, timing, everything like that is set by the artist. Any deals you make are between you and them. I am in no way involved, cannot get you a discount, cannot get anything sped up, and cannot get you in contact with them. That is purely up to you. They have every right to refuse, every right to set the time frame they feel is appropriate, and the price they feel is appropriate. Please do not share their artwork without their permission. I have written permission from every artist that I feature here on the channel, and please do not share my video without the appropriate watermarks and the appropriate disclaimer, because I am sharing someone else's work with their permission for me to share it, not for you. With all that being said, let's get into the video. Now, to kick off this first one, I loved this piece. It really kind of jumped out at me, the black background to really highlight the neon colors, and the wave of those colors was awesome. The beautiful purples mixing in with the blues, contrasting the almost Easter-like colors of the yellows, the greens, the pinks, everything like that really had a fantastic kind of neon effect. I believe that's cheese. As far as I can tell, that's cheese, which is hilarious. Golden cheese earrings are a wonderful touch because they add, the sense of whimsy in a girl that is clearly not impressed. She's like, this is very much the expression of my eyes are up here, loser. Like, stop doing whatever you're doing. And it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting contrast between the clearly agitated expression and this kind of feeling of, I will leave you on the ground. And again, there's this whimsical color that pops against the black background. Even the pink, I think those are underlights or lowlights. I'm not good with hairs, I'm sure you can tell. All the way down to her bracelet, which I believe is gold, and then reflecting some of the color from some of her other accessories, and the butterfly patterning on her scarf thing, or that's around her arm. I'm not quite sure, but again, I'm not real good with this stuff. All in all, beautiful, fantastic piece, and the pops of color really jump out at you. This really kind of grabbed me from the first go, partly because of the eyes, just that piercing pink and purple looking right at the camera, but also the color and how much it splashes and contrasts against the darkness is just gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, let's move on to our next piece. So this was the next piece that really jumped out at me, partly because, again, of that whimsical feel, but also just the beautiful starry sky in the background blending in with the dark hair. And I've always been a fan of characters with kind of, black hair, because you can have those purples, those blues, to add extra hues and colors into them without it seeming, to contrast or seem like this character has dyed hair. It just adds a lot of variety to it in how artists choose to depict it, but also the star glowing on her forehead, which I'm assuming is a tattoo, the pink teardrop, the beautiful crystalline earrings that, again, break up and add contrast to the hair, all the way down to the lovely dress she's wearing and kind of the nebulous pattern on that. And I'm not sure if it is unfinished or if the artwork on her neck was meant to just be a line work tattoo, but something that may or may not be included there. Bring together this vision of, again, that nebula, that starry sky, someone enjoying a nice evening out, someone dancing under the stars with some really, honestly, breathtaking blue eyes that, again, reflect the openness, the freedom, the emptiness of space, of the universe as a whole, all while reflecting the shining stars that act as beacons of light within them. So let's go from nighttime to daytime. So I chose this piece as arguably one of my favorites just because it's super wholesome and cute. It's just three friends enjoying a sunset picnic, and I'm assuming a cliff because it looks like it leads down into a beach. But it's all wonderfully drawn. I love the softness of it all. You know, nothing has really hard lines. They look like gentle brush strokes. You even get the nice foreground elements of the dark blue flowers, you know, that are kind of blurred out against the picnic basket. You have the gorgeous apples, cherries, sandwiches, strawberries, bananas, onigiri, sushi, tomatoes, I think bread, the pizza that she's eating, the girl on her phone, and the guy just sitting there looking like he has no idea what's going on. That would absolutely be me. But I don't know, this felt like a nice, gentle picnic among friends. Maybe before one of them has to go off to, you know, college or a new town. I don't know, something about this says kind of a last goodbye, at least for now. But I don't know, it was a super gentle, loving piece that I think has some more deeper emotion behind it. But for now, I just want to leave it as a nice, gentle picnic on a beautiful day. So I grabbed this next piece as honestly one of the more recent works that she's done, because I always like to check in with the artist kind of closer to when I'm actually going to record the video, because I often contact them months ahead of time. And I don't know, I really loved this piece, not because of its softness, but because of the detail against the grid lining. Because grid lining to me always struck me as, like, you know, writing or math or something very, you know, very clinical, very analytical. And then to have this expressive piece put over top of that was a really nice contrast. The flowers, I think those are roses or carnations, are beautifully done. And the expression on this girl's face, this to me is not someone who is giving those flowers to someone. No, she, I'm guessing, just received these flowers and has no idea what the person who gave them to her is trying to convey. Now, I don't want to just assume it's romantic intentions. It could just be a gift from a friend or a family member, and she is not processing this. She has the look of what the hell is going on and just kind of staring blankly into space because she doesn't know how to react. So I thought it was a nice contrast in terms of the action versus the reaction. I also really loved the small details on the dress, the flower patterning, and how it kind of goes down and changes along. You know, it helps kind of create this natural flow and break up the monotony of things. It's really, really well done. Sorry, one last thing I want to point out. I really appreciate how, despite having a white background, she has clearly taken the time to shade in ever so slightly around the character to help give her that visual contrast from the background, but also you can see the lightness in the hair, especially from the left-hand side, making the sense of a light source visible, like giving you that idea, okay, this is where the light is coming from, even though there is obviously no discernible light source here, and she's depicted against such a plain, monotonous background. Speaking of a pretty simple background, but a striking visual, let's move on to this next piece. Now, this was again one of the pieces that was more recently done at the time that I grabbed this. It is a gorgeous watercolor. Like, I love this cat to death. First of all, the fact that it's just this adorable light blue and has the tiny little eyebrows is stunning. The purple eyes complementing their little bow tie, and oh my god, it's the cutest little thing. And his little hat and the quill and the letter that I'm sure is just a list of demands to be fed, for extra treats, for better nap times, just for you to be around more so you can fulfill their needs. Oh, it's so adorable. I love this thing so much. And kind of, I guess, trend I want to start is, whenever there is an animal I depict, I want you to leave in the comments down below, what do you think this animal's name should be? Because I'm having a really hard time with this one. I'm thinking either something like super cute or super menacing. If I had to say, I would guess maybe Teardrop or like Snowflake. Again, just something cute, something blue. Or if we were going something just destructive, or not necessarily destructive, maybe more like aggressive, like give it that contrasting evil name to this adorable fluff ball. And I don't know the cat's determined gender. I think Yzma, like Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, because the purple gives it just that slight hint, that slight air of evil and mischievousness. And I don't know, she doesn't look anything like the cat that, you know, Yzma turned into, but it's that same evil air against this adorable picture, adorable face that just really adds a really funny contrast to me. Anyway, we need to move on to our next section. So everyone, we've reached the halfway point of the video. Thank you very much for sticking around to this point. Quick reminder, if you are interested in contacting Panda about any of their works and potentially commissioning them for something if they're available, all of their social media links as well as potentially their YouTube link will be in the description down below. Please make sure to check them out. Contact them if you are interested in any pieces. Quick reminder that any pieces you have done are between you and the artist. I'm in no way responsible for any of that. You already know this. I've gone through this whole thing a bunch, but I like to throw it in the middle of the video just in case. Do make sure to check them out. Alright, let's get to the last few of the video. I grabbed this piece because it felt really interesting. It was definitely softer than many of the others, but it again had that same idea of relaxing, of motion, especially in the hair, that also feels like it was painted with brushstrokes. Now, I'm not entirely sure if Panda is a purely digital artist, although I'm assuming based on the watercolor that they are not purely digital, but I don't know if this was done in digital or if this was done physical. Either way, the brushstrokes are awesome. The lighting is awesome. The fact that I've noticed she likes to use rather plain backgrounds in most cases, but that really lets her characters and her images pop in contrast to them. And this was an interesting one to me because this one is the most, I guess, realistic looking character, but she's still depicted with the massive anime eyes, which, looking at this, if humans actually looked like this, would be horrifying. Now, don't get me wrong, this drawing is awesome, this image is wonderful, but I'm just trying to imagine like actual people walking around with eyes this big compared to the size of their head, and that is terrifying. Like, my eyes look big behind my glasses as it is. I don't want them to be even bigger. It was just an interesting thought that popped in my head because of this. Again, beautifully rendered. I love the almost aquamarine of the hair. And I'm really curious as to what she's looking at, because clearly it's something that she quite enjoys. Hey, maybe it's this next piece. So I grabbed this piece because it really jumped off the page for me as almost like a comic book cover. Now, I don't know if this is related to the webtoon that Panda is working on, because the previous images I'd seen for that were completely different. Maybe this is a second series, I'm not sure, you'll have to ask her. But what interested me is the fact that you have clearly two different cities, one on the right looking more like, Western style, maybe a mixture of New York and other kind of metropolitan cities, but then on the left you have something more futuristic looking, more sci-fi looking. You have some character in the bottom left, turning his back and walking away, obviously is going to be an important one. An almost angel-looking figure in the sense that she has wings on the middle right, the mysterious woman in the middle left, and then obviously in the foreground, some guy holding, I would presume either his child or his little sister, but he looks a little young himself, so I'm going to go with sister, from being sucked into this void rift that seems to be tearing, or maybe combining these two worlds together. And then floating away in the top there is a zap gun, which is an interesting idea to me. Maybe she was playing with it and was getting sucked into the portal, who knows? But this, I don't know, this struck me as one of those, the world is ending, worlds are colliding, and you're gonna have this ragtag group of people from each one combining to seal the rift, stop the worlds, and save both of them in the process. Yes, that's pretty generic, it's something I just came up with on the spot, but it kind of inspired that imagery, and I really like too how the two foreground characters, as well as the void, are like the most colorful pieces in the sense that they really draw in the eye, not least in which because they're in the center of the image, but you have the white on either side to really serve as kind of, calm space, dead space, to draw the eye into that middle, to that center force, whatever is creating this rift, creating these problems, your eye is drawn right to it. Now let's all draw our eyes to this next piece. So I grabbed this piece partly because I love to grab pieces that have a mixture of sketch and then a colored version if there is one available, because it shows just how much work so many artists put in, but also just how different a piece can feel when that color is added. Because yes, you may have some idea of, okay, this is what it would look like without color, but then when you see it with color, the way the artist or the person commissioning the artwork had intended, it can give it such a different feeling. I love how all the details are super specific in the bottom colorless drawing. The line work is awesome. Everything about it just really grabs you, but then it leaves open to the imagination, like what colors would be here? What would be happening? And then you look up and you have the beautiful crimson red of the hair, the golden eyes, the really interesting jacket, because I don't know what is happening in the background, but it's creating almost like a sun effect on the jacket from behind her, and then the interesting orange and purple and yellow lines that really help create the visual breakup, that really help, kind of help the character come out, but also express a really zany, really energetic, and kind of out there personality, because they're colors we wouldn't necessarily think about. And yes, those aren't depicted in the line work, so it's kind of hard to claim, okay, this is giving off those same energies, but it shows to show you just how much that color can create a personality, can create emotions in both the viewer and the character. On the subject of sketches, I do want to feature one more piece in the sketch category. Now, this piece was really interesting to me because this one definitely seemed like it was something more in the early planning phases, but again, I love depicting these ones because it shows part of an artist's process and how they get to the eventual finished product, even though they make it look so easy sometimes. Now, this one was really interesting to me because there's clearly, a more seasoned wizard type character leading maybe an elven druid or, an elf character of some design, given the pointy ears, I'm kind of assuming there. You have the little kind of wisp flame thing in the middle, and then what looks to be some sort of owl type creature with a rather long beak and some long fangs walking on two legs. And he might have something on his ankle, maybe like a control bracelet or a tracking thing, or maybe he's a messenger. But it's really interesting because you can see where different design elements come in and how it might want to be altered, changed, or confirmed as she goes through the process of finalizing this piece. You can see where she has ideas about what should be there, but maybe isn't quite sure how long she wants to make all of his clothing. I have no idea what colors this would be. I'm imagining some lush greens, some dark forest in the background, and it's just really interesting to theorize where this piece will go. Now, at the time of this recording, there is not an updated version or more finished version of this piece. I don't know if there ever will be, but I love, again, featuring works in progress like this because it shows you just how much an artist has to do and how much they have to think about when creating these pieces, when thinking about where is the light source, where is shadow, what color, if any, am I going to make this character, and what sort of details do I want them to have? Do I want them to have a medium-sized beard, a rather bushy beard, no beard, and how are their different body parts going to interact with what they're holding, the way they're standing, everything like that. It's super complex, but this piece serves as a reminder that these artists go through hundreds, if not thousands of hours over years to perfect their craft, and it really shows. And I want to demonstrate that even more with this last piece. So the last piece I've chosen to pick is technically 4 pieces and may not make it to the finalized version of the video because it is a commission that Panda had received from a client and then posted on her social medias. So I will be asking for her permission to show this piece, and if she does not approve, I do have others I can showcase here. But if you're seeing it, that means she said yes. I have no idea what the product that this commission was done for actually is. I have no idea where it could lead to, but I thought it was really cool. Just the difference in the terms of the little cubes and their personalities based on the colors and the fact they were all kind of shooting stars really stood out to me in terms of how you can create various personalities, various outlooks, and various just general feelings and emotions through small changes. They're all still cubes, but just the different expressions, the different colors, all of that has such a big impact. Even the color of the sky being different changes the whole feeling of the piece. Now, I think all of these little cube things are super adorable. I would love to play this if it was a game, depending on what kind of game it is. But I thought it was a great way to end the video, to not only show you works that she has done for a commission, but also, again, just show how little changes, little decisions can make a huge difference. Speaking of making a huge difference, thank you, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, so much for being here, so much for watching the video. It honestly means a lot to me. It makes a big difference in my, outlook on the channel. But if you're going to make a difference in anybody's day, please, if you're able to, financially, contact Panda. See if she is open for a commission and is willing to accept your request. I know it would help her out a lot. Heck, contact any of the artists I've featured here on the art table. A lot of them are independent and working other jobs to support doing art as a hobby, but I'm sure so many of them would love to go full-time with it. And your support, especially financially, I'm sure would be greatly appreciated if you're able to do so. On top of that, you know, I say it every time and I really appreciate it. If you could like, comment, subscribe, the YouTube stuff, it helps out the channel and means I can get these videos out to more people. This month will mark the 2-year anniversary of the channel, and I'm proud of what I've done. There's certainly been ups and downs, and I'm trying to always improve the content that I put out to all of you, especially when it comes to the art table. I want this to be the best series that it can be because it's so affected by, and will potentially affect, other people, you know, outside of my sphere of influence, outside of me. So I feel like I have a lot more responsibility to those people when I depict their artwork, and I really hope that one of you, again, if you're able to, has contacted one of these artists, gotten a commission from them, and is happy with what you've received. So please wish me luck, wish them luck, as we move forward into yet another year, hopefully. With all that being said, thank you once again for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.